Hello everyone and welcome to a special one-off class on ClearBlock's 2020 vision. My name is Barry Ockertell and the intent today is to really delve into the starting point of what can I do about my own eyesight. And I want this class to be whether you've been working with your eyes through natural vision improvement for years or whether this is your first time. I'm hoping that by the end of this hour, you'll notice some improvement in your own eyesight. How's that for an intent in the hour? So I'm going to say a really clear intent. Now, in order to do that, of course, I'm going to say at the end, has there been any difference? And so it'd be a great idea just to look around the room, maybe look up close if looking up close is an issue, just to try to see, is there a difference in your physical eyesight at the beginning and at the end of this session? It'd be really interesting, and we don't know. And I also want to say just on the outset that it doesn't have to be in this hour either. We're going to take the pressure off, because some people have this pressure, I have to improve my eyesight in an hour, I'll fail somehow. Okay, just let you know that no one here will fail because you're here. And I think you've all succeeded just by the fact that you're here already. In my own situation, I used to wear Coke bottle glasses from 17 years of age until my mid-30s. In actual fact, it was only when I got to about 30 they gave me these multi-glasses where you sort of have to look up and down depending on where you're looking. And what was interesting is they didn't feel right. And when I went back to the optometrist, because they, when I got the last pair, and they said, I said, look, these don't feel right. And what did he say is that common expression, you'll get used to it. In other words, your eyes will deteriorate to match the new lens. That's how I took it. And I've been going since 17 years of age. And they said to me, even at 17, make sure you wear these all the time or your eyes will get worse. That was one of the, implanted into my brain. So I diligently wore my glasses all the time and diligently went back every 2 years and got a stronger pair of glasses. So that system wasn't working. Now, I'm not against optometrists. I believe we all should go and get checked out by optometrists so we know what's going on. That whole medical model is set up there to check other issues that may be going on behind your eyes. I'm also a big fan from an educational view of taking responsibility for your own eyes. And we have plenty of programs out there now that can actually support you in improving your own eyesight. I want to start today, though, by clearing 7 key blocks that I've recognized that are almost fundamental before we begin. And almost fundamental, even if you've been on the journey and you've gone, oops, I haven't actually done these ones yet. And so the way that I work is I'm referred to as the blockbuster. And I'm the blockbuster because I actually not only identify what the blocks are, we're going to get to actually clear them during this session using a unique approach that I do called light body alignment. And so with light body alignment, we are going to shift the energy of these for individual people who I work with. However, the intent will be everyone listening live will also benefit. So that's pretty exciting. We're actually all going to get 7 clearings today. And not only that, anyone listening to the replay will also get exactly the same benefit. I've had so many people come back to me and say, Barry, thank you very much. This has been amazing. I've just listened to it and I've noticed the shift. And I haven't even spoken to them. They've just been listening to the replay. So if you are listening to the replay, you're in the right spot as well. So the way I actually work is I work through a process, what I refer to as intuitive kinesiology. So it's a combination of intuition. There's some muscle testing that I do, and I work on a volunteer basis. In other words, I'm going to muscle test who's the best person that's going to be good for the group. Okay, and then I'm going to volunteer you. It is actually okay to say no, and then I'll take the next best person, but I'm after the person that's going to best support everyone in the group. All right. And I think we'll get started with all of that, because we've got all these statements today are around the word it's around about being safe. It's really interesting. We can talk about eye activities, we can talk about how we see, what we're doing, and all of that. But if we don't feel safe in the very first place, then nothing's going to matter. You know, it's like going to a work environment. If I said, you know, I want you to enjoy your work, doesn't matter what you're doing, make sure you enjoy it. And if you go to work and you just don't feel safe, it's going to be really difficult to enjoy that process. So I've got 7 key statements around that we're actually going to identify and clear today. And so we're going to get started straight away. And I'm just trying to find out. Andrew, can I bring you on for the very first one, if that's all right?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So just tell us a little bit about your eyes. Like what's your eye issue at the moment?
At the moment, well, I haven't had a new pair of glasses in, maybe 6 years. And I'm spending a lot of time at my computer, and I'm noticing that my eyes are getting worse.
Yeah. Yep. And there's probably been a few people over the last 12 months and so that spend more time at the computer, you know, like that's just life now.
Yeah.
All right. One of the things that I actually did years ago, I did a Master's of Education focusing on computers and eyesight. This is well before COVID and everyone got stuck on the computer. And what came up in that situation is if we use a computer more than 2 hours a day, it will have a detrimental effect on our eyes. Now, how often per day do you use a computer?
Oh gosh, easily 10 hours a day. Oh God.
Wow. Okay.
Might be 8 sometimes, some days.
All right. Oh,
8.
wow. An easy day. I've only had 8 hours on it.
Yeah, right.
All right. So there's some really, you know, it's really important if you think about when we're seeing someone live, you're not staring at the person from a fixed screen. So one of the things I'm going to tell you to do straight away is to make sure that you do occasionally looking away and doing those sorts of things as much as possible. Also, giving yourself little breaks every now and then is really important.
I look out the window as often as I can.
Window is a great one. If you can look out and look as far away as you can, just to allow those eyes to do it. We've got a really interesting statement today. And I know, look, for me, I'll give you the statement. The statement is, it is safe to see myself.
It is safe to see myself.
Yeah, yeah. And I know you're in a situation where you have at the moment, you have a really good self-appraisal. That's why I've got you. I wanted someone who actually did feel good about themselves now. All right. I would suggest that wasn't always the case. Is that correct?
Absolutely not the case always. Correct.
Yeah. All right. So in my own situation, growing up, the biggest thing that I used to do was compare myself to others.
That's familiar.
Yeah. I'm not as good as the teachers. I'm not as good as the other students. I'm not as good as the other people playing sport. I'm not as good as the siblings. And it was always not as good as. And then found myself almost competing, trying to be like them rather than being like myself.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't extroverted enough like the others were. And I was introverted, and therefore there must be something wrong with that. And I was trying to be an extrovert. And the introverts in the room will know this. When you're a young kid and you try to become an extrovert, it just comes out as being brash or a little bit arrogant and things like that, because we don't know the context of which we do.
Right.
All right. So can you relate to all of that for yourself?
I relate to all of that. Yes. Terribly shy. I compared myself to older sister and everybody else. All of it.
Yeah. And so the key thing here that we're going to be clearing is that actually, and there's still a bit of residue from that, right? And you've actually cleaned most of it up. And what we want to do today is clean any residue from anything of the past there around how you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I actually believe everyone here is in an absolutely, amazing position to see themselves just as wonderful as you see yourself now. All right. And we're still going to clear a little bit more. Is there anyone else that can relate to that? You might want to just raise your hand electronically so that I know that you're there. Anyone else really relate to that particular statement? It is safe to see myself. Anyone else there can relate to that? Marianne, did you want to jump on?
I didn't know that you wanted me to speak, but yeah, I can totally relate to Andrea. I was always comparing myself when I was younger, and I feel like I've done a lot of work over the most recent years on just enjoying myself and loving myself.
Yeah. And my sense is that people are actually doing that now. People are getting to the stage of really loving themselves and doing that sort of thing. All right. So let's just clear this for everyone. I just want to clear this for the whole group. So what we're going to do is just going to clear it energetically. And you may even just feel that in your own body of what's actually going on. There's some big ones there, probably around the sort of the second chakra, sort of around the gut area. Seems to be one of the key points here. There's a lot of childhood stuff here. So, Marianne, I could just say that again for me, please. Can you say it is safe to see myself?
It is safe to see myself.
How does that feel saying that now?
It actually feels good. I'm getting used to seeing myself on video, making videos and that kind of thing. So it's very timely.
Okay, so that might actually help that whole process as well. Well done. All right. Andrew, I'll come back to you as well because we started with you. So let's get you to say that statement again. It is safe to see myself.
It is safe to see myself.
All right. That feels really strong, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Can you see we've just taken that up another notch there for you? All right. And that's where we've got to start. So thank you. Thank you, both of you, for being brave to come in. Nancy, did you have a question you wanted to ask? Feel free, just unmute yourself and come on. So the unmute's on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen.
Okay, yeah, sorry, Barry. I just updated my Zoom and the raised hand is in the wrong place. I raised my hand because I totally relate to that. It wasn't safe to see myself. I mean, my story is somewhat like yours. I got glasses when I was 5 and they just got stronger and stronger and stronger. I ended up with -10 for a couple of decades until I started improving my vision. And I was really good in school, but my mother was so demanding and critical that I felt like I had no people skills at all, so I just hid.
Yeah.
So coming out of that shell has been really, and I felt like I was safe to see myself like presenting and producing, but not interacting.
Yeah.
So that's been my challenge, and I've been doing Bates work for almost 20 years now, and there's a big improvement, but I'm certainly not done.
Yeah.
So
I want to acknowledge where you've come from. Traditionally, people with about a -10 wouldn't be doing this program. So I want to acknowledge that you've focused enough to say, I really want to do this.
I was just desperate to I'm so healthy in every other way. People think I'm 30 years younger than I am, and it's just, the vitamins and the exercise, it's kind of in a frantic way sometimes, but I only found out that I could do something about my eyesight 20 years ago, and I just jumped in with both feet.
All right. I'm going to talk about Bates a little bit later. I'll make sure we do that, but I'll get you to say for me, please, it is safe to see myself. I just want to make sure that that's shifted for you.
It is safe to see myself.
How's that feel saying that?
The piece that feels shaky is it's not safe for other people to see me.
Okay, well, we're going to get to the next statement. We just wanted to start with the first one. That first part's holding. So you're sort of jumping exactly where we need to be.
Sorry,
No, you've done really well. Your mind's obviously there. So the second statement I've got for you, it is safe to see in the world.
it is safe to see in the world.
Yeah, that's where the stress is.
Yeah, I'm very tentative about, oh, I can go this far, but not this far. Yeah.
Okay. So we've had to start with self. We had to start with seeing self. Now we want to be able to see you in the world. All right. And again, in my own situation, I grew up in a fairly small city, and it was 50, 60,000, and it was really quite insular. And I can remember going out in the world thinking, this is really scary, and there was just cultural differences that I just were not used to. And, certainly going to Melbourne and large cities, it was like, my goodness, this is, is this safe? And, being out at night even and feeling safe and things like that. So, just feeling safe in the world. So can you relate to that yourself?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've pushed myself to travel cross country without glasses, but I'm always pushing, not in a relaxed way most of the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can make myself do just about anything, but that doesn't mean I'm going to like it.
I'll acknowledge you for that. Is there anyone else who can relate to this? It is safe to see in the world. If you want to raise your hand and come on, it's going to be a really good one here for us to clear together as well. We want both of those aspects to be there. All right. Shell.
Hi there. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Where are you from, Shell?
Hadley, Massachusetts, United States.
And can you say for me, it is safe to see in the world?
It is safe to see in the world.
Okay, yeah, no. Can you hear that that's a stress? So what's the stress? Do you know what the stress for you is?
Not really sure. I've done, I came across Aldous Huxley's book on the Bates Method when I was, I think, a teenager. And I do palming when my eyes are tired, and I look away from the computer when I need to. And I work with a developmental optometrist who actually I had been wearing glasses only for very limited tasks. And after working with her, I'm now wearing glasses pretty much all the time, but a different pair for the computer and looking at everything else. But I do find my eyes mechanically, I tend to gush a lot of fluid, create a lot of goopy stuff around the edges. So there's some physical thing going on that I would love to figure out how to get out from under.
Yeah, yep, totally. All right. What's your relationship with you and the rest of the world, do you think?
It's good.
Okay.
I feel very blessed in my life. I live in a beautiful place. I have a wonderful family. I have friends. I have wonderful fresh vegetarian food every day, and read and get exercise and get outside. And I have this lovely mountain out there.
So the curiosity I have with this, and it sounds wonderful, there is still a stress when I muscle test you on it is safe to see in the world. So I'm wondering whether this is about you actually sharing yourself with the world a little bit more.
Hold on one second, Barry. Just my wife is calling me.
All right, we'll come back. We'll come back to it. Does anyone else want to relate to that?
Oh, yes.
Anyone else? That's what we get when we get live shows here coming up. Okay. All right, let's just clear it for everyone.
Thank you.
So you're still going to get the clearing. All right. All right. Shell, if you're back on, I'll get you to say for me again, it is safe to see in the world. Can you say that for me again?
I'm sorry, there was a little interference. Say it again.
It is safe to see in the world.
It is safe to see in the world.
Okay, how does that feel?
Feels good.
I think this is actually about you stepping out in the world more and being a bigger presence in the world. That's what it's about.
Well, that's interesting because in the work that I'm attempting to do in my career, I'm trying to be very, very big in the world, and it's been a challenge.
And this will actually support that. So well done. All right, Nancy, let's go back to you as well.
Okay, I was just writing down it is safe to share myself with the world because I want to work on that. um,
So I'll get you to say the original statement, it is safe to see in the world.
it is safe to see in the world.
Okay, that's actually holding strong. How's that feel?
It feels more, I wouldn't say wonderful, but it doesn't feel as awful.
Yeah, that's terrific. And some of this is going to take a little while for us. You know, we've just cleared this energy. It's going to take our bodies a little while to get used to that change. And if anyone else has noticed a change, you know, for yourself, you know, feel free to put that in the chat room, you know, that you've picked up the shift within yourself, because these clearings are for everyone that's there. Well done. We're going to move on, and we're going to move on now to, I'll give you the statement. I'll see who relates to this one. And the next statement is, it is safe to see my past. It's going to be a big one for some people. It is safe to see my past. Lashane, can we bring you on, please? Lashane, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Can you just say for me, please, it is safe to see my past? Okay, yeah, it's really hard. Look, I can understand for some people this is going to be really, you know, really difficult.
Very difficult.
Yeah. I want you to know that I don't want you to go into the story of what's happened. You know, that's your story. I want you to hang on to that for yourself. But I want you to know that the past no longer has to affect who you are now.
Right.
All right. And it's almost like I'd like you to see your past almost from a detached viewpoint, where you're just watching it rather than having it affect who you are now.
Right. Okay, I understand that.
All right. And so we're just observing the past without taking it on. That's the key to it.
Okay.
All right.
We do that in hypnosis. We teach that in hypnosis.
Great.
To look from a perspective of not really being in it, but kind of seeing it. So yeah, I
Yep.
understand.
Okay, awesome. All right, well done. I'll just put you on mute, a little bit hard there. Does anyone else want to comment on that one for themselves? It is safe to see in my past. It is safe to see my past. All right, Jan, let's come across to you.
That's a little bit of a scary one for me.
Yeah.
So I would love to clear that one.
Okay, can you say it for me? It is safe to see my past.
It is safe to see my past.
Okay, yep. And it's the same situation. What I'm seeing is that, you know, people are letting the past dictate who they are now.
Mm.
All right. And
Right.
one of the easiest ways to shift through that is to see whatever situation that has happened as a gift.
Mm.
All right. And the gift
Right.
could simply be that you've become more resilient, that you've become stronger, that, you know, you're not going to take that same stuff anymore. You know, you really stood up into who you are. Can you get that, Jan, for yourself?
Yeah, that helps me immensely to see it from that perspective.
Yeah, yeah. And so the temptation for people is to go back into the old story of victim. Poor me, I've had this happen, I've had this happen. We should have a whole session just on allowing people to be a victim and just have all the stories and put them out there. We'd all outdo each other, I'm sure. We'd all have the biggest stories. But when we can drop all of that and go, well, actually, that was just a gift. It's helped me to become who I am now, and that's what I'm interested in.
Yes.
All right, awesome. I can feel the shift already. So we're just
Uh-huh.
going to clear that last part. Okay. All right. A lot of this is about how we also operate in the world as well. Like that old patriarchal model is sort of in there. We're not meant to clear that, by the way, but just sort of put that there for somebody to think about. Can you say for me again, Jan, please, it is safe to see my past?
It is safe to see my past.
How does that feel now?
That feels a lot better. My throat opened. I could feel it wasn't so constricted.
Yeah. So look, you know, I just want you to recognize how powerful this is, even though like a few minutes and we get to clear this. You know, this is something under traditional kinesiology would take over an hour. So be really gentle on yourself. Make sure you drink some water and maybe do some journaling around this as well, just to support that process for yourself. And LaShawn, I'll bring you back on as well to make sure that's okay for you as well.
Okay.
Can you say it is safe to see my past?
It is safe to see my past.
Okay, that's holding strong. Well done.
Yes, yes, it feels better.
I can see that smile. Thank you. All right. So we're sort of getting there. And I guess, look, as well as seeing the past, I guess the other one I thought, well, let's see the future as well. So the next statement we're going to have is, it is safe to see my future. And for me, again, that was happening when I started working. My first job was an accountant. You know, like you see me as an accountant, it was just not a match, I can tell you. And I was just not happy with it. You know, I sort of went into it. I don't know how I got to be an accountant, but it just wasn't a match for my personality. And, you know, and I could see myself, look, I'm going to be stuck here for years and years and years to come. So if anyone else relates to that one, let's have a look. Let's get a chance. It's going to be safe to see your future. That'd be Paulinka. Let's go to you on this one. You sort of knew you were going to get picked on this one, didn't you?
Oh, great.
Can you relate?
Oh, totally. You know, and I went through that being safe clearing with you in another class. And so my life has been kind of upside down, and I'm looking at what I thought, you know, I wanted to do with my life, and it's not there, you know, and it's totally wide open. I have no clue.
All right. So just say for me, it is safe to see my future. Just say that for me.
It is safe to see my future.
Okay. So it becomes really unknown, isn't it? I can see this. Like,
yeah.
It's not like I know what I want, I just don't know how to get there. It's almost like I don't even know what I want.
Exactly.
All right. And that can be a bit scary.
Yeah.
So there's a number of things that you can do. I do actually, myself and my coaches, we do run these what you want to do with your life type sessions, if you like, and work out your life's purpose from a higher level, a mental level, and a practical level. So those things are available. So you can always email me and we can set you up with a process there. For the moment, I just want to let you know the key thing that I'm seeing with you is your desire to be creative. Can you understand that?
Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
And I've always been drawn to that. I'm a musician, I'm a teacher, you know, I really love gardening. I work with animals and energy clearings and all this kind of stuff, and healing, you know, kind of things. And
yep. And so what I actually see is where I feel like you'd love to be, the energy clearing work, you had a spark when you talked about that, right? And there's a part of you go, well, how can I make a living doing energy work? You know, like that's
right.
Sort of, right? And I'm here to let you know that it is possible. You know, we're doing energy work now.
Yeah.
So it's about, you know, love for you to look, have a chat with me. We'll set up a time, a one-on-one time with you, and we can have a chat about how creative you can be in getting that out there. How would that be?
I would really like that.
Yeah, great. All right. So, you know, we'll make sure we get through that. Does anyone else want to comment on that one for themselves? We'll allow one more person. Anyone else want to relate to, it is safe to see my future? Well, let's just test to see who's
Yeah.
listening. Yes?
Yes, me, I think, Barry, I very much resonate with all that was just said then. So, yeah.
All right. So can you say for me, please, it is safe to see my future?
It is safe to see my future.
Okay. So what part of your future is not safe to see?
I think it's similar to that. I'm not sure what the future is. So there's been a lot of change already over the last few years, but I don't know that I've actually reached
The
where
end
it is I
result.
want to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for both of you, what I'm seeing is the end result is something that you've got no preconception of what actually it is because you haven't reached it yet.
Yeah. Don't even know what I'm heading for, but yeah. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they say that, you know, half the jobs in the next 20 years haven't even been invented yet, you know, that type of thing. And it feels like you're going to create something that's actually brand new.
Yes, that'd be good.
All right. So part of that now is then to relax into that. I don't know what it is, but I know that I'm going to create something that's going to be amazing.
Mm.
All right. And, you know, you're not going to get the answer. Maybe you will today, but, you know, maybe when we can relax into it, maybe more of that comes to you rather than, I wonder what it is. I wonder what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's almost a surrendering to trusting that this will happen for you. All right,
Yep.
let's clear this one. It's a really good one to clear. Okay, can you feel that energy?
Yes,
Okay. Can you say, it is safe to see my future?
it is safe to see my future.
Awesome. Well done. How's
That
that
was a big
feel?
one.
Yeah, that was a big
good.
one. You need some water after that one, I think. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Linka, let's come back to you on that one as well, please.
It is safe to see my future.
Okay. How's that feel now?
It feels a little stronger,
It does, doesn't it? I can feel how strong
Yeah,
that actually is
a
for
little
you.
less daunting.
Yeah, yeah. And it is about just trusting that process and allow it to happen and see what goes on. All right, well done. All right, we've done a fair few of them. We've got a few more to go. And again, just in the chat room, just let me know how it's going. If you get any questions, things like that, just maybe put that in the chat room. Has anyone noticed a big difference in themselves already? There's been a lot there. Yeah, just a lot of shifts that's actually happening here at the moment. So I sort of get that. All right. Rosalind, I'm going to bring you on for the next one because we sort of spoke about this briefly before we started, and I think this is a great time for it to come on.
Hi,
Hi. Now, you're in the UK, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Okay.
And I started doing eye work about 6 months ago. So I've seen a big change in that time, which has been great. But then I feel like I've got to a point where I've got a bit stuck and the change isn't continuing.
All right.
Well, that's what it feels like.
All right. So the statement I've got for you is safe to be in the moment. Can you just say that for me, please?
It is safe to be in the moment.
Yeah.
It is safe to be in the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So can you sort of get that part of what I'm getting here is that there's a part of you stretched towards be living in the past, and there's this part of you like, what's my future going to be? And this tug of war happens between the past and the future.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, I think I'm pushing towards the future often and trying to create and yeah, rather than just living in the moment and enjoying the journey, I guess.
And being safe in the moment, like today is really about being safe, just absolutely knowing that you're actually okay now.
Yep.
And if you can really just feel that for a moment, it shifts this whole thing of, oh, I have to do this and I have to do this. And, you know, rather than, oh, okay, I'm feeling really good and I'm choosing to explore things for the future.
Yeah.
Or I'm choosing to visit the past, you know, but we're doing it from a more centered place.
Yeah.
Okay, I can feel that's already shifting there in you. I'm just going to let that sit there for a little while. Anyone else jumps around? Who else jumps around future and back? Marlene, let's bring you on.
Hi, Barry.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yourself, where are you from?
Good. I'm from Seattle, Washington.
I love Seattle. It's a lovely spot. I had
USA.
yes, I was there and I had buffalo at a restaurant that been blessed. It was like a sacred buffalo meal I had. It was amazing. So it was really good. So I've got fond memories. Can you say for me, it
That's
is
awesome.
safe to be in the moment?
It is safe to be in the moment.
Okay. So in testing that, that's coming up as a stress, and you knew that anyway. Why do you think that's a stress for you?
Because I'm house sitting, I'm trying to work on a marriage and plan a business all at once. How's that?
Yeah. Okay. So there's just all this stuff happening. Okay.
Yeah.
How much time, therefore, do you get for yourself?
A lot lately since October. I've also been working with Ed Oakley.
Yep.
Your buddy Ed.
Yep. That's excellent. Okay. Ed does some amazing work. All right. So what I want to do is I want to clear the statement for you. And we're just going to clear it for everyone as well. Okay. It's actually a really big one for everyone. Okay. Can you say for me, please, it is safe to be in the moment?
It is safe to be in the moment.
How's that feel now?
Much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. You look quite surprised. It's like, how can it be that much easier that quick? So, okay, we're just shifting energy and again, just be really gentle. And one of the things I'm going to recommend for you is not to get your head in the way of trying to work this out. Just allow yourself just to be in the moment rather than going, oh, I've got to work this out. What happened here, etc. So really just being back present with it. All right, well done. Rosalind, let's go back to you as well, and we'll check you on this one as well.
It is safe to be in the moment.
Oh, that's holding very strong. What's that like for you?
It's lovely. It feels like such a relief. Like I can just enjoy this moment. It's lovely.
Oh, awesome. Well done. Well done. Is there anyone else want to relate to that for themselves? Anyone else want to relate to it is safe to be in the moment? Anyone else notice the shift? Isabella, let's bring you on.
Hello. Wow, what a big shift tonight, this evening, actually. So it is great to be in the moment. I want to say when you said the past, we had to look at the past as a gift that did it for me. Yeah, because I didn't realize that all my past was actually a gift. And I see some of the good things that went bad in the past coming back to me. So I'm going to embrace it.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, but in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, we get a choice of how we do that. We can, you know, stay in the old mode, or once we can embrace it as a gift, which can be a real challenge. And I really get that can be a challenge. It just starts to shift life completely.
Yes.
All right. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay. While you're there, I will get you for the next one as well. And the final statement I've got today is, it is safe to take personal responsibility for my eyes. Can you say that for me, Isabel?
It's safe to take personal responsibilities for my eyes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And it's coming up as a stress. And I think the reason why it's coming up as stress is we've been conditioned, if you like, to abdicate our personal responsibility to our eyes to other people, to wearing glasses, to optometrists, to anyone else, really. And it's sort of interesting that, you know, if you broke your leg and I said to you, oh, look, I'm sorry to break your leg. Here's a pair of crutches. Now, make sure you wear these for the rest of your life. You probably would go and get a second opinion, wouldn't you? Like, it just wouldn't feel right that you're going to wear crutches for the rest of your life. And so I just want you to recognize that, you know, taking personal responsibility is a huge step. All right. Serena, I'm going to come to you on this one as well. Serena, are you available? Just unmute yourself, please. Can you relate to that one?
I think so. Because I just kind of stumbled upon, you know, natural vision just because I had an eye prescription difference in both eyes, and it messed with my brain.
Yeah.
So I
Can
think
you say it is safe to take personal responsibility for my eyes?
it is safe to take personal responsibility for my eyes.
Yeah. So it's coming up as a stress. And, you know, for myself, like most people, I just went through not knowing that there was anything else. And one of the things I recognized also in terms of my own vision is before I started doing vision work, my coping mechanism was actually being judgmental. So I cope by being judgmental of other people as a way of me feeling better about myself. And somehow what happened when I took personal responsibility, and then I came across this whole thing about eyesight. And the reason why I came across it, by the way, is one of the optometrists said to me when I said, you know, these feel a bit strange. He said, what do you expect when you're in your mid-40s? And I was 32 at the time. And so there was a bit of fear of what was going to happen when I was in my mid-40s or mid-50s or mid-60s and mid-70s, etc. If I was already like 10, 12 years behind where everyone was to start with. And my whole approach, you know, I was teaching accounting at this point, and I was, you know, mathematics and, you know, really straight type subjects. So my whole approach to doing natural eyesight improvement was to stop my eyes getting worse. If I'd stopped my eyes getting worse, I believe I would have been a success. And what happens in 2 months, I actually got out of reading glasses, and I've never had glasses for reading since. In 6 months, I passed a driver's license for 20/20 vision. And it just showed me what was possible. You know, after 2 months, when I got out of reading glasses, hey, there's something in this, you know, like it could actually be possible. And then in 6 months, it was like, wow. And in actual fact, in 6 months, when I got 20/20 on an eye chart, that actually became the starting point for me for actually looking at what vision is. You know, the eyesight stuff tick off, now we get to look at vision. And that was really the start of my journey of expanding my own vision once I'd done that. In actual fact, 2 weeks after I passed 20/20 vision on an eye chart, I was actually picked up with a pituitary tumor and was operated on. It was like, you really want to go ahead now? Let's see how big you can go. And, you know, and they said, you should be able to see. And I said, well, I've been doing baits and exercises and things like that. And so it did open these amazing doors for me, really, that has occurred for the rest of my life. So really important statement, you know, it is safe to take personal responsibility for my eyes. In actual fact, one of the things that we're doing now is I created literally within about 6 months of that operation, I already had people asking me, you know, there's something different about you. That was normally the first scenario. Like, I'm not wearing glasses anymore. And the sort of statement, I was a little bit self-conscious about this. And the sort of statement that would turn up would be things like, did you used to have a beard? Like there's something different. We don't know what it is. And then I realized, well, no one really knows. It's just me being a bit self-conscious. And then I was asked to run a group to help with their eyesight. And that sort of started off. And then 5 years ago, I actually created my very first online program, which is called iPower, which is actually on the Vision School itself. And it was a 10-day program to help improve physical eyesight. And what was interesting about that program is the lady that we actually used in the program, we did all the recordings in one day, and her eyesight improved so much by the end of the day. She said to her husband, for the first time in my life, I can see your eyes without my glasses. And to me, that was that sort of magical moment. All right. So that's actually there up on the Vision School. Also on the Vision School is a whole program on clear blocks to better vision, which is really probably going to be the extension of where we've gone from today. And looking at clearing 50 blocks around different aspects of seeing, different activities that we bring in, and we slowly introduce the work of Dr. Bates, particularly the work that's not been published. That's the work that I'm interested in. And what we're going to do starting next week, for those who are interested in going even further down the rabbit hole, I'm actually running a 4-week class. It'll be 4 modules. They'll be an hour and a half each. There's so much in them. And these 4 modules are going to be seeing beyond 2020. So in that, we're going to look at things like what are the eye activities that we have, but what's behind that? Like what's behind, what's underneath all of that? You know, what's the metaphysical reason of doing some of those exercises? We're going to be delving into the past and looking at why did you get glasses in the first place? And really clearing some of those things and delving into the emotional components to eyesight. We're going to be looking at the future of where you're heading and where the future of vision is heading and expanding your vision. And the most exciting thing I want to share with you is we're going to be introducing some of the hidden work of Dr. Bates. And Dr. Bates was an optometrist from 100 years ago, an ophthalmologist who was teaching optometry. And he was a doctor, so he had to keep his license. But he had all these techniques that I've been given access to, which are all based on what's happening behind the eyes. And when we can clear some of the stuff that's happening behind the eyes, I've had people have had an instant improvement, especially people who've been doing eye exercises for years and not quite getting anywhere. This has sort of been the key to shifting some of that stuff. And it's not just about improving your physical eyesight. For a lot of people, they've improved their psychic ability, their awareness of life, a whole range of things around what vision is actually about. So I'm really encouraging people, starting next week, if you want to come into these live 4 90-minute classes and start looking at seeing beyond 2020 even. And this will be a class for both the beginner and the advanced vision educator. I really see it's going to be available for everyone. It's going to be pretty exciting to do that. And I think it's recognizing yourself. Does this feel right? Take personal responsibility, right? Does this feel right for me? All right. So let's go back to Serena. I want to go back to you, and I want you to say for me, please, it is safe to take personal responsibility for my eyes.
It is safe to take personal responsibility for my eyes.
Okay, let's just clear this. Now, really interesting in clearing this. This is actually working on a slightly higher level than what the others have worked on. All right. And so this is also, if you like, taking personal responsibility for yourself as well is included in that. So Serena, I'll get you to say it again. It is safe to take personal responsibility for my eyes.
It is safe to take personal responsibility for my eyes.
Okay, excellent. That feels really good. How's that feel?
Good.
Feels a shift, doesn't it? Okay, thank you. Isabella, let's bring you back on as well, because you had that statement to start with.
It's safe to take personal responsibilities for my eyes.
How's that feel?
Good.
Okay. What do you notice that's different?
So, you know, I've, you know, doing some of the eye classes with you, the responsibility I took was the exercise, you know, because my eyes used to be very heavy. I used to feel a lot of pressure, weight on myself. So some of the exercises in the previous eye classes that I took with you were, you know, the shoulders, the neck and everything. And that has been my routine. Anytime I sit or I'm driving, I'm doing that exercise. So I feel now that that was part of the personal responsibility, but I need to do more. And it has helped me a lot. I don't feel all that pressure in the back of my eye.
Awesome.
So, thank
well
you.
Done. Right, excellent. I just want to open it up for the last few minutes. Just any comments or any questions that people might have, any changes I'm particularly interested that people notice. I did say at the start, just become aware of your own eyesight. And I just want to spend the last few minutes seeing what differences people may have noticed. So again, just have a look around, and it might just be to be clear, a little bit clearer somewhere. It might be colours stand out more. Please maybe raise your hand if you've noticed a difference.
Hey,
Mary?
Barry.
Yes.
Yeah. I've noticed I have actually a very mild prescription, and I got it in my 30s. But what I notice always, because I'm on the computer so much, is this is a progressive lens, and so I'm always doing this to try and make everything come into clarity. And what I noticed today is with each statement, I felt myself drop. I felt more grounded, and you guys are all crystal clear to me right now. Even with it's a mild prescription, but oh my goodness, and my eyes are feeling relaxed, and they're a bit waterier than they usually are.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and Barry, I hate this. I've got to go, but can't stay till the end. But it's so lovely to see you, and I will check out that link for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Michael, if you're there, I might get you to just put that link up for next week. Put that up in the chat room if you can for us. And I know he's there. Yeah.
It is there, Barry.
Oh, terrific. How's that today for you, Michael?
Excellent, as always. It always feels so great to clear blocks, some which, you know, you resonate with and feel them dissipate immediately, and some which like, oh, I didn't realize that was a block. Yeah.
And it was really interesting. I love the way that, you know, some people didn't know initially. Like we've got some people who we didn't know, and they're like, let's dive in this a little bit deeper. And I think that's really cool to be able to do that. All right.
Yeah.
How are your eyes feeling, Michael? Just out of interest.
I will say, you know, I am working the event, so I haven't been able to focus too much. I had to keep these on so I could be pinning people and responding to the chat. So I'll tell you later today. I'll send you a message.
And I think that's a great point. But again, we're not after an instant thing. And I would suggest the next 24, 48 hours, some of this stuff will still be kicking in as well. All right. We've got time just for a few more people if they want to, anyone else wants to make a comment on how today was, or any questions that you might have. If you just raise your hand, Jan, and Jan, and then Marlene.
For whatever reason, I don't know if it's because this call was coming up today, that my vision has been blurry all day long.
Wow.
Like even with glasses, I couldn't seem to get clear and focused. And so I feel like the clarity or the focus is coming in now. I can see out more clearly without that feeling of fogginess. It's still right here though.
Yeah, yeah. So it is interesting that it's almost a prelude. Would have encouraged you to come on today, I guess, with everything happening as well. So, all right. So just be really gentle on yourself, and you know, just rest your eyes. You know, like this idea that we have to sort of keep forcing ourselves, and I think it's really important that we just allow ourselves time to rest and work with that.
Okay.
All right, well done. Marlene, what about yourself? You had your hand up, Marlene.
I have a question. Does it differ? Is there a difference if you're farsighted or nearsighted, or neither? It's just eyes in general.
Yeah, look, today I wanted to keep it really generic, and generally what happens, the difference for me, and think about when most people get glasses. So for myself, my first pair of glasses was when I was about 16 years of age, and I was borrowing the glasses from my friend next to me to see the blackboard. And most people, it's about that issue of seeing further out. That's where we start from. And that generally, by the way, relates to seeing the future. Like it's a generic way of seeing it. So when we're going to see far out, it's about how am I seeing the future? By the time people get in their 40s and 50s, it's like, have I really achieved what I thought I was going to achieve? Right? And we start focusing on seeing the past as maybe I didn't become Prime Minister that I thought I was going to be when I was 10. And recognizing that maybe we didn't achieve what we thought we were going to achieve. And therefore, I believe a lot of the middle-aged stuff going on around eyesight is really people feeling like they haven't really connected to their vision of life, you know, in terms of what's meant to be. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nathan, I want to bring you on if we can. Nathan is the co-producer with myself on a movie that we did called Vision 2020, From Eyesight to Insight, which I know many of you have seen. Nathan, how was today for you?
Hey Barry, yeah, thank you. This was a really special class today. I was really just struck by being here to witness some amazing connections being made. Like, I love seeing people's wheels turn in, like gears going in their head of like making these new connections between the past and the future and the present. And it's just beautiful, beautiful work to see how these kind of barriers and blocks get kind of taken away, and then the path is clearer. So, and seeing the tangible results and having people get some sharpness and better focus just within an hour is pretty impressive. So really happy to be here and part of this group.
And Nathan's actually going to be a special guest in the class that's coming up on Seeing Beyond 2020. He's got a big vision himself, which is why we work together in making the movie and a few other things that we've done together as well. So thanks, Nathan. Appreciate you being here today. Eileen, I wonder if you're here still as well. She may need to go. It was quite late in
the comments that she had to take off, but
she's also going to be my special guest next week as well when we start introducing the physical components. And she's very much into who we are being rather than what we're doing. And I just thought that was such an important aspect I wanted to bring into this whole area of vision and eyesight as well. So I'm looking forward to having that discussion with her next week as well. Any other comments about how today was? Just maybe two more and then we might wrap it up. Anyone else want to share how today was for them? And we're just going through. Danny, how was today for you?
Great to see you, Barry, and great to connect with this idea of vision from a safety perspective. I think so often it's easy to kind of flip into different associations, and it was good to take a minute and consider some of those safety statements. And thank you for clearing the blocks.
Look, you're welcome. Look, thank you, everyone. It's been a real pleasure to be working with everyone today. And, you know, the sense that it's now safe to see, hopefully, you know, it might be one of those things, the replay will be out there. You may want to go back over the replay and really solidify this aspect that it is safe to see yourself, safe to see in the world, the past, the future, yourself, and ultimately taking personal responsibility for your own eyes. So I want to thank everyone for being on the call. We've had lots of people on the call today. We've had twice as many registers. So I want to welcome and thank all those people who have been listening to the replay. And please get in touch with me and let me know how you're going. We also offer a 4-month mentoring program that actually starts next month as well. If anyone's interested in that, just send me a contact and we can create a 15-minute conversation with you as well, if that's something that interests you. Other than that, looking forward to seeing you when we go Seeing Beyond 2020. Have a great day, everyone. Bye, everyone.